You need an email list, and here's why. It's just another rainy day sitting here in front of the house near Vancouver in Canada. It's me, it's John, it's Marketing for Owners. For those of you that wonder why I'm telling you where I am, it's because I record this as a video, which you can see at marketingforowners.com/podcast/514. Of course, it's on iTunes, as you know, and Stitcher Radio for Android and SoundCloud. And on all those things, you can give a little rating if you think you like it. Would be nice. I'd love if you could. Thanks. So, email list. Now, if you work online, you'll hear people say, oh, the money's in the list and all this, and I wish what would you do differently if you did this all over again? I wish I'd started building a list sooner. That's true. I don't like the statement that the money's in the list, but I get the sentiment. I don't like to be chasing money for the sake of money. I don't think that's good, and that's the bad side of internet marketing. However, it is how to do it. In the modern marketing process, once you've managed to get someone to opt into your lead magnet, once you've given them an offer where they give you their email so they can download it, and that email is added to an email management system, which would be common ones. The one we use is Aweber. In one of my businesses, I also use MailChimp. I actually prefer Aweber. There are others, iContact, Constant Contact. There are big expensive ones. A step up is there's Active Campaign, and then the more expensive, Infusionsoft, Entreport, and all these kinds that do this. There's also ConvertKit and Drip, and there's a lot. But what they do is they manage this process for you. They make your emails safe to send, and they store them for you. You don't have to do anything. You can put email sequences at certain days after people opt in. You can send out broadcasts, like a newsletter or just an offer or something. And if you're on my list, you'll get. So if you want to get on my list, by the way, if you want to see how this works, go to marketingforowners.com/71, just the number 71. There is a pretty cool download there. It's been downloaded, actually I stopped counting, but well over 5,000 times. Pretty cool. And then you'll see how this works. These things are automated. But the reason you need it is because this is where people are going to get to know you. And then they're going to get to like you, and then they're going to get to trust you. They're going to understand what you know. They're going to understand you're an expert, that you're an authority. And it doesn't matter whether you're a marketing person like me, a fire safety person, also like me, or you could be an accountant, a lawyer, you can be a landscape gardener, you can be the corner grocer, you can be a pizza shop. You have that opportunity to get that connection with your audience. They will read stuff. If you're thinking about, oh, I never read emails, it's all full of spam. You don't read the spammy emails. I'm going to challenge you to not send spammy emails. Send relevant emails. Imagine that you're sending an email to a mate, to a friend. And that's how it should be. You shouldn't just be throwing out offers. You should only email people when you've got something to say and something that is going to make their day better or their life better. Don't do it for you, do it for them. If you have something that's of value to them, and the reason they signed up for your opt-in download is because that was of value to them. So expand upon it and so on. Now, how can you use this and why? You can be offline. You could be in a clothes store. When someone pays for something at the till, you can have an iPad. There are offline versions of MailChimp has, I can't even remember, is that their Mandrill app? I can't remember. Anyway, a lot of these organizations will be able to save the emails offline, and then you can upload when you're online. It doesn't have to be live unless you've got Wi-Fi. You don't need to be there. But you can just ask them to enter their email and name on an iPad that is fixed to your counter, so they can't steal it. And if they want to, and what are they going to get for that? They are going to get a surprise when they next check their emails. Someone can either say no thanks or yes. What's that going to cost you? What are you scared of? You asked them for the money when they came up to pay for the goods. They like you. They trust you. Okay. So now you're going to think, well, what am I going to write to them about? Stuff about, if you're a clothes shop, the newest fashion, the stuff you've got coming in, the reason you started your shop, the reason you do what you do, the reason you concentrate on, I don't know, tall women or whatever your niche is, the reason that you don't sell certain clothes from certain suppliers because of your ethics, things like that. Be personal, be the real you, then you get the real connection, and then people start to share and tell their friends to come in because, wow, I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that you don't sell shoes from Nike because they're made in Bangladesh by little children or something with tiny hands or something like that. Sorry, Nike, if you don't do that anymore. Bet you do. But that kind of thing. Who else could you use it? You could be a restaurant. A lot of restaurants now, it's the UK is following on the North American trend. At the end, when they give the receipt, they say if you go online here, you can log in and win, give feedback and win a free meal. There you go. What do you think they're going to ask for? They're going to ask you for your email address. They might ask for a text number so they can send you offers. That's the same. They're doing it. That's what the big companies do because it works. You can do it. It really doesn't cost anything. An Aweber, basic Aweber account is $20 a month. What's that? UK now, it's like £15. You seriously can't afford £15 a month? If you can't, I suggest you think about closing up the business and getting a job, because then you'll be over the minimum wage and you'll be better off. But I think you probably can if you could understand the power of what's going to happen with that list. That list is going to be an asset. It's going to build up over time. You're going to add, it's going to have 10, and then it's going to have 30, and then it's going to have 80, and then it's going to have 200, and then it's going to have 1,000. And when you've got 1,000, a couple of years later, you've got to say 1,000 people who actually chose to be on your list. You didn't spam them. And of course, if you've got old customers, you could open up a second list within it, and you can import those email addresses of previous customers or current customers and put them on, and then you can email them, because again, if you're not spamming, if you're doing this properly, by the way, every single email at the bottom will have an unsubscribe button. That is the beauty of using Aweber, MailChimp, Infusionsoft, etc. People have a one-click unsubscribe option. We also copy ours on my Fire Protection Online and put it at the top as well. You think, well, that's going to encourage people to unsubscribe. Hey, if they want to unsubscribe, they want to unsubscribe. Just let them. Don't upset them. It's their right. It's not yours. Okay, don't worry about it. People don't want your stuff. Allow them to not get it, and then not to accuse you of spamming them. So in the list, over time, you're going to contact them about things, and then every now and again, in that restaurant, you've got a slow Tuesday. You've got not many bookings. From a Monday. On a Monday, send out an email and say, hey, first come, first served. The first 10 bookings for Tuesday night will get a free bottle of wine with their order, with their food. So people are going to come into your restaurant. What are they going to spend between them? £30, $50, whatever. Surely you can afford a bottle of wine at the price you pay. You've suddenly filled up your restaurant. Yeah, do you see what I mean? The power. Pizzas, you must be on Domino's list. If you've had Domino's, you every now and again get offers. Why do they do that? Why doesn't anyone else? Because others aren't of that size and they're not listening. You can do the same, honestly. Anyway, so that's why you need an email list. People will start to repeat buy, and people who haven't bought before will start to buy. Just keep with me, keep listening. I'll explain how to do email things. Follow people like Ben Settle. Look on the podcast for the Ben Settle interview. Look for the Ian Brody interview. Get Ian Brody's book, Email Persuasion. That'll explain exactly how to do this. Brilliant book. Listen to Andre Chaperon. Read his websites. Look up Andre Chaperon. Just Google the name. Spell it like it sounds. These guys are brilliant at this. Anyway, enough of that. You can ask me as well if you want. John@marketingforowners.com. John is spelled Jon, by the way. So I answer all my emails. try it. This is Thursday. It's time for the Drive Time podcast. Now, today, I'm giving a shout out for the podcast called Influencer Pros. Now, what these guys do, it's actually, I don't know how it worked out, whether it got taken over or put in the family. It's within the convinceandconvert.com website from Jay Baer. It's not one of Jay Baer's own podcasts, but it's run by Heidi Sullivan of Cision spelt with a C, and Juliana Vorhaus of Tap Influence. But it hides within the convinceandconvert.com website. If you go there, look up podcasts, you'll find it, or just search on iTunes for Influencer Pros. But what they do is they speak to influencers and how people are using influencer marketing, which is fabulous and free, and they make case studies, show you how it works. How cool is that? Now tomorrow, to show you just how influencing works, we have Kerry Jones of Fractal. You might not know Fractal, but they do this for businesses. She is going to give us the PR tips, the way they get PR for their clients. How cool is that? It's all for free here on the Marketing for Owners podcast. Speak to you then.